Hello all. How's it going, everybody? Rezi Renji here at the end of a pretty long week. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still not entirely recovered from what happened earlier this week in the fuck. I don't know fucking lore I'm calling it anymore, but in the U.S., you know, an election happened and Donald Trump somehow wormed his way into the seat of the presidency again, and well, I'm not happy about it. Obviously, I'm not gonna try to mask that, in my content going forward. So I just want to say all that to say, I'm going to continue being my old progressive self and being affirming to all the queer folks who watch me, all the trans folks who watch me. It's yeah, no, exactly, Sagi. It's been rough. It's been a rough past few days, sort of coming to grips with what might happen in the next few years, what we might need to do to just sort of exist, and I'm trying not to let it get to me. I'm going to try to exist nevertheless and do what I always do and just be in community with more people. Let my love spread. That's the whole reason of why I've done these music talk streams in the first place. I used to be, I guess, not as connected to the broader VTuber community as a whole. I was sort of doing my own thing, sort of streaming my own stuff. I had a few VTuber friends here or there, but really I just, I wanted to find my own place in the community, and I figured a way I could do that is just do what I do best and talk music with other VTubers. And at the end of the day, indies are the only thing, we only have each other. That's bottom line, Politicians aren't coming to save us, corporations aren't coming to save us, and controversially, I kind of think that includes VTuber agencies too, low-key, but I'm not gonna drag out that conversation here. We only have each other, and I want to keep in community. I want to keep on building community. So if that's how you feel, welcome. Whew. Sorry, before I get all emotional, I should probably pivot back to, the purpose of these streams to begin with. I love talking with music-themed VTubers, and hey, Jukebox Cowboy, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you here, and of course, yeah, a big agree with your statement. Today I've got somebody who actually I didn't meet them on Blue Sky. My past few guests I've been meeting a bunch of new music VTubers on Blue Sky with the whole migration and everybody following everybody again. It's kind of like the early Wild West days of like VTuber Twitter almost. But this next guest I actually kind of met through a mutual friend I'd already had before, Katie of Catburger fame, and her name is Sagiki Ihori. She's a sweets-themed VTuber, has a very cute voice, very good singer, and yeah, definitely in that sort of idol-esque VTuber vein that so many of our forebears have established before. But she does it great, and I'm excited to really get her perspective on things. So, would y'all please welcome Sagiki Ihori? Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me undeafen. I forgot that somehow it's not linked to my alt tab anymore. Would y'all please welcome Sagiki Ihori?
Hello. Thank you so much for the intro.
Yeah. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you've been able to make it on. I know, with British time zones, it's always tricky to navigate around that for collabs, but happy
Yeah,
you're
no,
here.
thank you so much. Thank you for being like super patient with me.
No, of course. So usually, I like to start these streams off by, sort of opening up the floor to my guests, to sort of talk about what got them really passionate about music. Because, it's one thing, like, to just have a casual interest in music on the side, pick it up when, you're feeling in a mood and you just want to hear something to blow off steam. But it's another, to be taken by it and, become a singer, a musician, music, covering Vtuber or what have you. So I guess what really got you passionate into music?
Oh, that is a very good question. I don't know if I've ever like thought about it in that kind of sense, because
Yeah.
I guess like I feel like it has always been, I guess, like a part of me, as in like there's always some kind of music on the side. So I guess probably it started when I was pretty young, and I think my parents kind of signed me up for, I think it was like a summer kind of dance class.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and basically, I think when we had like at the end of that kind of summer course, we had like all kind of like a performance as a group, and then I think the person who was kind of, I think she was like playing the piano or something, she was like, told me that I think I got like pretty good rhythm or something. So she was like, "Do you want to learn to play like an instrument?" So my parents signed me up to learn keyboard.
Oh,
So
nice.
I actually had one and I think I learned it for like around 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that at that point in time, I wasn't as interested in the fact that, like learning like all the theory and stuff.
Right,
So
yeah.
a lot of the time I was remembering how to play a song rather than, like read sheet music. So I can't really read sheet music.
Yeah. I feel.
Yeah, I feel like at that point in time I was like, I just want to play whatever I want, but I don't want to study, if that makes sense. And I'm kind of like regretting it.
Yeah,
But
no, I was kind
yeah.
of similar. I've said it on streams in the past that I used to. What was it? My elementary school sort of conscripted me into our like elementary school orchestra, because it was still a very young like school starting out. Like it was still basically enrolling students and like building out their programs. So I took up the violin at like when I was in like third grade or something, and never practiced it, but I had fun, in orchestra, just sort of fiddling around with it. It was fun.
That's so cool though. That
Yeah.
violin. Oh my god, that's like a difficult instrument, no?
Yeah, no, it's I never did take off the practice tape that you start off with when you learn your finger placements. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it very, very cool instrument though. I've never really been too adept at learning tonal instruments, but that's just because I don't really have I don't know, the time or patience, I guess, to learn scales and all that. But
Do you currently play any other instrument?
I am a drummer by trade predominantly. I play the
Ooh.
drums, and I also love I like to fiddle with other like aux percussion things here or there, tambourine,
Nice.
cowbell. I've even what was it? I took a semester of I think it was like marimba and timpani lessons on the side in college. Have not followed up on that since, because those instruments are hella expensive and spacious for a New York City
Oh, for
apartment.
sure.
But
Oh gosh. Do they share like
yeah.
the same kind of concept? Like because you are a drummer, so it's a bit easier to pick other ones similar up?
Little bit. I mean, like, at the very least, having like the hand-eye coordination trades over. I think in that having a mallet for like timpani or marimba, that is easy to I guess sort of transfer what I already know about like coordinating my hands and wrists for drums. Whereas with unfortunately my white whale, the piano, I don't know if I could ever properly. The piano is referred to as a percussion instrument, and I like to refer to myself as percussionist. But I don't think I could ever like fucking like get the dexterity or coordination in my fingers exactly to do it myself. That's respect to you for picking that up. At a young age. That's when you got to do it. I feel like that
is kind of is kind of like a quite, I guess, common thing for Asian family though.
Oh
I don't want to stereotype, but also.
No, like they want to have their kid do a talent or something. It's it's understandable. I don't know. I was kind of a late bloomer with the instrumental aspect of it. It was actually the Rock Band's games that got me into playing the drums.
What
because
was it?
The Rock Band. I don't know if you're familiar with the series.
It's called Rock Band. I see.
Yeah. It's like they had this like plastic sort of drum kit that was like these 4 sort of pads that you played to sort of emulate, well, it was like 4 pads and like a kick drum little thing on the bottom that you could play to emulate like a basic beats or fills or whatever in Rock Band. And from there I sort of evolved. I think it was my mom's sister's boyfriend got me a drum kit for like my 14th birthday, and from there I've just sort of been playing catch up ever since.
Nice. Oh my gosh, that's like, but you stuck with it until now, which is amazing.
It's been fun. I mean, unfortunately I don't have like an acoustic kit to practice with. I just have like the electronic kit now, which it's kind of low key. I don't know. I've never really liked the feel of playing an electronic kit compared to an acoustic kit. But when I get in the studio, I'm in like 2 different bands. When I get in like a studio environment with them and we have like real drums to practice with, ooh, it's fun.
Oh, that's cool though. That's really cool. I wish that I know to play how to play an instrument, because I kind of try to pick up like ukulele. Like I have one and I still have one, but and I practiced for a while, but then I'm just like, oh, nah.
Yeah. I'm sure the ukulele is just fun to pick up and casually have on the side. I know it's kind of memed on as an instrument, but at the same time, I've always kind of thought it would be fascinated to have like somebody who's like a virtuoso at the ukulele in the way that you have like Eddie Van Halen on guitar. That I just think that'd be funny to have like a pro ukulelist.
Imagine.
If that's even a word.
I have a couple friends, I think, who actually kind of like the ukulele Vtuber.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know them, but I could send you.
Oh yeah,
one
sure.
That
Send me over
yeah.
like Discord or whatever. I'd be happy to see.
Yeah, because I think he also perform it sometimes, and then he organized like a bunch of other instrument player to do just special stream where they perform. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. I've like I said, I've never really been too adept at picking up stringed instruments. If ever I were to do some sort of something, I would either want to at least learn how to move around on an acoustic guitar with chords, or pick up a ukulele. I think just something to sing along with,
Yeah, that would be cool.
So, anyways, let me see. We talked a little bit off stream, I guess. Like in preparation, you sent me a list of some of your favorite artists, and I noticed you quite liked the idols, sort of idols, like Vtuber, Vocaloids, a bunch of K-pop too. I guess sort of to ask, is that sort of your favorite, like, I guess, area, genre? What are some of your favorite albums? That sort of thing.
Yeah, so I would say I feel like I listen to a bunch of different things. Like if it sounds good to me, then I would listen. But I would say, yeah, like I had, I guess, like phases where I would listen to one thing a lot and then I switched to the other. And so I guess like growing up till now, probably the most popular would be like US, UK kind of, pop or something like that kind of throughout. But and then I guess like when I was in like my high school years, a lot of like starting K-pop, so lots of K-pop bands and stuff getting out. They were just getting more popular outside of Korea, I think, at that point.
Yeah. That was like a whole wave, like.
I know.
Do you think like it was like Gangnam Style? That was like the firing shot. I hate to be like the meme guy to say like Gangnam Style was like the one that broke K-pop in the West, but like I feel like that's kind of true to an extent.
I think it is. I think it definitely played its part, and then I guess that, and then the bigger groups like BTS and Blackpink now, they
I just
definitely
remember
kind of.
like. Yeah, I remember I had like some friends back in like the mid 2010s or whatever, around like when I graduated from high school. We were going to like Otakon down in like Maryland every year or so, every summer, and I remember they'd be big into going to like these K-pop. I think there was like a choreography panel that one of them went to. They bought some merch for different K-pop groups. It was interesting, like getting to see their fandom in like pre-BTS times. Now you see like K-pop stand up and their songs are everywhere on the Billboard charts. It's crazy.
I don't even follow K-pop as much anymore. Like I was.
Yeah.
I feel old, but yeah. I was like the previous phase of
No,
K-pop,
it's totally
and then,
understandable.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
I feel like K-pop fandom is very intense nowadays.
Yeah, maybe it's for the better.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's fun music, though. From the limited K-pop I've heard, they certainly know how to put together a damn catchy pop song.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. They know the way around people's preferences.
How has all of that inspired you and what you do as a musician?
I think a lot. I don't know if I would call myself a musician, but like I
mean, musical or like idol or what
I just
have
sing
you.
for fun. But yeah, I think I guess because I like listening to music and I like, I guess, melodies and singing along and things like that. So it I guess. I don't know how it inspired me specifically, but
No, that's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, feel a wanting to just sing.
Yeah.
I started it probably like over 10 years ago. So back in Vietnam, there was this kind of online website where they would give you like instrumental, and you can directly record on the site, and then you can share it to others, which I find very interesting that I don't see it anywhere at all. Like I don't think I can. Maybe I haven't actually looked it up. But yeah, I started doing song covers then, and there was like a community of us where we did like song covers and all that, and we even like met up. So started from there. I just like had that as a thing for me to do song cover.
That's cool. it's interesting you have a site like that there, but here I feel like we're a lot more stringent with copyright, where we can't really. Karaoke instrumentals are a lot
yeah,
more difficult to really clear.
definitely.
Freaking
That makes
AdSense on
sense.
YouTube. I sympathize with you there. I've been wanting to do like karaoke streams for a little bit, but I've been grappling how exactly to pull it off so like the max number of my fans can access them.
To be honest, I
Uh,
only got into kind of more, I guess, the technical side of like doing a song cover when I started like being VTuber, and I think I'm
yeah,
still kind of
yeah.
learning because
Hmm.
of the copyright thing that I was
Yeah.
definitely not aware of before.
Like, do you make your own instrumentals? Is that
I know that if I want to kind of share it onto platform to get it monetized, then I need to one check for copyright and then also have to do original instrumental, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
I have not done it before because it's like, for me, I've been
Yeah.
doing just like covers, so it wasn't as like I didn't really
Yeah,
look
yeah.
for like the monetization part of it. So yeah, I'm just aware of it, but
Yeah.
I want to kind of like, if I ever do original instrumental, I want to do it in a different style, kind of,
Yeah.
rather
No, it
than
is
just a
hard.
remake.
Yeah. I did what was it? For the end credits of like one of my deep dive series, I did a cover of Kiss's "Do You Love Me," where I primarily built it using like MIDI tracks in Reaper,
Ah.
and it came out well enough. I got a friend of mine in the VTuber scene to produce it for me, yeah, no, it was fun. I think I also had a person. I think it was Jeshnix. He contributed guitar to it, and it was fun working with that and with my vocals and MIDI to put something like that together. But it's definitely an exercise, and I don't know.
Mm.
There's something about doing something together with people in a room versus making something together in your making something by yourself in your bedroom. I kind of wish that I was able to do it a bit more dynamically on my own,
So you prefer kind of like a collaborative process when making music?
I guess so, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
and to be fair, that's what happened there. But like, I guess when I do my own covers, because I also do like drum covers, vocal covers, or whatever from time to time on my channel myself, and it's fun to do them. But I'm not the most knowledgeable in mixing, so I just sort of, I do what I can to polish them up well enough to get them out the door,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you there. To be honest, like when I did like song covers before, I didn't even know that there were, timing, tuning, mastering, and mixing that is involved. It was literally just hit record, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And that is wild. Like I definitely learn a lot because of like the VTubing world and like V singer and people doing song covers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I've been so lucky to pick up so many different talents doing this as a hobby. Not just learning how to do OBS and all that, but also like
Mm.
I've become way better at editing in DaVinci Resolve. I know a
Yeah.
few things about how to do doll work. I definitely feel like I'm a better digital creator than I've ever been. I used to
Mm.
actually fiddle around with back in, if like the YouTube poop movement. I used to kind of dabble in stuff like
What
that
was
back.
that?
It was like a video editing movement, like back in the the mid to late 2000s, where like people took a bunch of these old like cartoons, like stuff like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, like old CDI games like the Zelda and Hotel Mario, and they just chopped them up and made them as random and goofy as possible. And I dipped my toes in that back in the day. It was like when I was really young. I had like this pirated editing software I think I was using, and I was just learning all these different things about chopping up clips and editing and remixing them, and I kind of lost that passion for a time, but VTubing reawoke that for me, and I'm really thankful.
Nice. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things involved when you are a VTuber. Like it's literally not just sitting down and record yourself, right? There's so much in the back end that people just don't see.
God, I've had to invest in freaking equipment for this gig. I mean,
oh my god.
Not that I'm expecting a return, but like
yeah, no.
I've had to get my own. Well, thankfully the mic arm was a gift from my cousin, but I've had to get my own like good quality microphones and mic filters, and when COVID was going around in the States and we got our stimulus checks, I spent that money on a good PC. That's literally the reason why I could afford. That's why I could, afford to set up VTubing.
Yeah. I don't even want to know how much I've spent in VTubing in general. Like, nah, we just don't go there.
Yeah. I guess at a certain point, it is a hobby, so it's understandable that you spend so much on it without expecting a return on investment.
Yeah, I mean it brings you joy, so that is
absolutely. I mean that is definitely a worth in and of itself. So like, have you gone to very many concerts, idol or otherwise? You have any fun concert memories?
I think I've gone to a couple. It was mainly over here in the UK, because there wasn't a lot of show when I was back in Vietnam.
Right,
so I went to, I think so I've seen like from the list that I sent you. All the 4 that I sent for US, UK, so Melanie Martinez, Ariana, 21 Pilots, and 1975,
Right.
I have gone to see them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they are like my top ones, so I gotta.
Yeah. I can't say I've ever really seen a mega pop star like that in a big arena. I imagine, especially in the States here, I imagine tickets are quite expensive for that, but geez, I do see like some of the gigs going around nowadays, especially like freaking Taylor Swift and her Eras tour.
Oh no!
all, like the massive. You're not a Swiftie?
Well, I listen to her. I listen more to her old songs than the current ones. I wouldn't
That's
say
fair.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I would listen to like the Love Story or Red, probably that era before. Yeah,
that's fair.
but not really much the current ones.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, hi Matt Curdy. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you earlier. One of the things I look forward to is when you change the look of your character and match the subject of your videos. Oh yeah, I love doing that. I'm glad that shout out to all the creators on Booth who make free assets for VTubers on Vroid Studio, because it's very. I don't know if I have the skills necessarily on my own to create my own outfits. I mean, this hoodie that I'm wearing now, I kind of hacked together in Vroid Studios and putting together in GIMP and whatever. But I don't know. It's. There are so many different talented creators doing shit on Booth, and I wouldn't nearly be as stylish as an avatar without them. But that said, I am really happy to do that sort of thing to theme myself more around whatever I'm talking about. I'm hoping especially with I'm doing a series on like glam metal right now, Sagi. So like in my
Nice.
first part on that, I was like wearing a like a sort of orange leather jacket and had my hair all mussed up. And in the next one, I kind of want to go a bit more wild with that. You know, have even longer, poofier hair, and I don't know, wear something a bit
Yeah.
more akin to the end of the '80s, where you know the guys in metal bands were just going completely wild with their fashion.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably have to commission that. I don't know if any free people on Booth are doing that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
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 good.
just the idea for right now. Yeah, I don't know what do you use? You use a Live 2D, is that right?
Yeah, currently I'm using Live 2D, but actually when I started out, I also used Vroid, and I used
Oh,
it for like
nice.
over a year. So I still have my 3D model as well.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, if I eventually get enough money doing this, I want to commission my own Live 2D as well, but I'm more than happy with, just using a waist up sort of Evo. I mean, I think I have like I basically have a full model, but like only the waist up seems to animate really, and I'm fine with
Mm.
that.
Would you consider like if you are continuing to do kind of 3D to get like tracking, or I know
Yeah,
that
no,
there's like an
I've wanted for a while, like, to sort of pick up like some sort of cheap tracking rig. I don't know if I'd need to research more into that. Maybe look into what Zentreya does, but she obviously has a far more established
yeah.
workflow by this point. I don't know. I would love to get more involved with hand motions and all that stuff. But I've also recently started incorporating like live footage of myself into my content, where I like dress
Mm.
in like I've got my own
I
hair
think I
and
saw
cat
that
ears.
video.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's really fun. I went out to like a concert, from one of my favorite bands, King Gizzard, and I got to interview a bunch of people sort of dressed as myself. It was kind of a wild experience. Sort of had a bit of spaghetti spilling out of my pockets from time to time, but I got through it.
That's really cool though. Like, cause like at the beginning of the stream, you're mentioning like you're doing your own kind of thing, and maybe like partly it feels a little bit outside of the VTubing kind of
Yeah.
normalcy. But I think that is really cool. Like I feel like because there's such a like way to go with VTubing that people kind of just go with like I'm doing the same. I'm doing like just gaming and streaming, right? But you have like the specific niche around music, and you're doing these kind of show, which for me is way more unique than
Oh.
just going on stream and playing games.
I really appreciate that, honestly. I mean, like, I realized very early on in my VTubing career that I wasn't gonna be the sort of VTuber to stick with a multiple games a week, multiple different things a week sort of schedule. I tried doing that for a few months. Like, I started off like back in, I want to say, summer 2021, and I did like sort of game streams, music review streams, occasional harmonica practice streams. Tried to,
Aww.
yeah, I tried to variety it up in my own sort of music and game loving resi way, but eventually it just, I wasn't getting any traction from it, because the YouTube algorithm is kind of low-key garbage for small-time creators, unless you're willing to do something to really stand out. And at a certain point, I just sort of took a step back, and I was like, okay, what are my strengths? And I remembered like some of the videos that I was editing as sort of like trial balloons and like clipping my content. I was like, well, I really liked editing. It reminded me, as I said, like of all the little things that I used to do back when I was like a teenager and like editing those YouTube poops. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I want to and I love video essays. So what I want to do is I want to tunnel in on doing long form content based on my love for music history, and that's sort of where I am now. You know, I'm doing that, and you know, trying to do this sort of communitarian talk show stuff on the side. You know, as kind of as a way to keep the lights on my channel, but also just, you know, I feel like I'm a far better yapper than I am like a variety YouTuber, if that makes sense.
Fair. But plus, like, you have the knowledge for it as well. Like, as you say, like doing essays and talking about more like music, you know.
Yeah.
In that kind of sense, it's also sharing what you know and how you find things, right? Yeah, it's good. It's good.
You have a little friend there in the background.
Yeah, he's whiny. He wants to go out, but it's very late, so he's not going outside. So he's just whining. Sorry.
It's all good. I love kitties. I mean, obviously, but
Yeah.
let's see. I was listening to the Glam Metal episode at work, but when I heard you introducing your new look, I had to sneak a look at my phone. Oh my god! If I were to ever merchandise in that way, it would be ridiculous. I've wanted to, you know, do VTuber merch for a while, but I don't know anything about how I'd go about it.
Actually, yeah, I only did like my merch once before through a website, but it was, you know, like, I feel like if you are not like a really big VTuber, it's literally just for your community.
Yeah. I feel like that can really
Yeah.
spiral into like a sort of scammy thing real quick. Like if you don't know who you're working with, especially.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And like also you have to think about like, do you want to keep the stock yourself? Do you want like a third party
Yeah.
handling, but then they would get like a cut from it?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. Discover your channel. Set the bar high for. Does that make more pressure for you? I mean, I actually like working. I actually kind of like building with every video my skills and like sort of setting more goals for myself in what I do. I mean, I do kind of feel a little pressure to improve, but that's, I don't know. I kind of find that healthy. It keeps me motivated to keep being the best sort of creator that I can be, you know. I don't just want to, because like I go back now to those like Fall of Kiss videos that I made early on, and they're good videos still. I think they still hold up, but they definitely have a bunch of, you know, more primitive editing just when I was getting a handle of DaVinci Resolve, and you know, my audio quality wasn't the best back then because I was still recording in a, oh my god, the basement that I was in when I recorded those. Did I say basement? Oh my god, that is a fucking
Basement.
Freudian slip. The fucking small ass apartment room that I was in when I recorded that was crazy. I had like I had a like L-shaped desk that I had basically my computer and all that on, and then right next to it was my bed. So didn't have any chairs. I was basically just sitting on my bed to access my computer the entire time.
Oh
so
gosh.
so I was very, you know, very cramped up to the computer. Didn't necessarily get the best, you know. I got decent recordings with it, but you know, now that I'm in like a more sizable room with a microphone arm holding my Blue Yeti in front of my face with a pop filter, I think I've got far better a handle on
Upgraded.
yeah, I've got far better a handle on you know, my understanding of how to how to communicate with my audience. And you know, I wouldn't have that without without learning after the examples of my peers.
Always improving, always learning.
I guess, yeah, kind of related to that, you've built up quite the extensive resume with covers on your YouTube. So, I guess tell me a bit about that. Which has been like your favorite to tackle? Which was the most challenging, most fun, all that sort of stuff?
interesting. I think there. I guess like kind of going back to like when I first started, like if anyone look at like my channel and look at my old cover like a couple years ago,
Mhm.
it was very kind of simple. Some of them were literally just like recording model and that's it. There wasn't like any kind of mixing or full NV. I think the one that I find, I guess, most difficult or challenging or something that is different that I haven't done before
Mhm.
is like a cover. It was a Vocaloid cover of a song called Date, because
Mm.
most of the covers that I've done, they are kind of like, cutesy or, easier for my voice.
Right,
I
yeah.
guess like that kind of theme. But I think Date was more kind of like a rock metal-ish.
Dude, some of those Vocaloid tracks go absolutely buck wild with those
Yeah.
synthesized vocals. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
And this one wasn't even like a hardcore one. Like let's say, I don't know, if you listen to like Utsupi,
Mhm.
but Utsupi is like more kind of like hardcore, like metal, it's
Oh,
like
okay,
Miku
yeah.
vocal and things like that. But yeah, this
Yeah.
one wasn't even that, but it was definitely something that is different for me. And I didn't know that I could have done that.
Oh,
And I'm
nice.
pretty sure I told my friends, I'm like, oh my god, I love this song so much, but I don't think that I would be able to cover it because, yeah, I've just never really done it. But then I
Yeah.
was just like, fuck it, like, like, I just like the song and I would just do it.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, Vocaloid, it's something I've said before on the channel. I was never the biggest Vocaloid fan growing up. As a young weeb, I was far more an anime nerd. But I do have a lot of appreciation for the sort of producers who take those vocal synthesizers and really use them to sort of push vocals to their limits and really challenge the vocalists that cover them.
Yeah, honestly,
It's like,
there are some songs that are like, I don't even know if people could just sing it live because
yeah.
it's so fast and it's like a long ass sentence.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it reminds me, like, I think I've used this analogy before. There was this one particular classical composer, I think it was Mozart, who was writing for a vocal student in particular. And there was this one piece he wrote that had this absurdly high note that she was supposed to nail. And, like, few people have been able to really record that since. Or if they have, it's been, like, after years of ridiculous training, So
Oh
it's
my
it's
gosh.
really cool when composers sort of, I don't know, compose to break limits almost.
100%.
I mean, not that I don't know. I'm far more of a staid sort of vocalist in what I do. I used to sing a lot of really high-pitched, shrieky rock when I was a teenager. I got into rock music with like Led Zeppelin and all that, AC/DC. So, of course, I
I
was
love
emulating all those guys.
AC/DC.
Hell yeah, I was very into those guys early on, and like shrieking up a storm as a kid. But that sort of settled into me being like a tenor early on, like when I was in like I would say middle school, high school choir. I don't know if I did middle school choir. I think it was like high school choir onwards, the college choir. When I took vocal lessons in college for like a few semesters, that was fun. I got to really sort of hone my voice there. But since then, I don't know. I've just sort of let my let my voice go a little bit. I've focused more on drumming.
Nice though, but you still have the experience being
Yeah,
like a
I can
vocalist.
carry a tune. I like and actually, in one of my bands, or in both my bands actually, I've been trying to do more like singing drumming. It's fun, like when you get the hang of like, just like when your hands play what beats, aligns with like what melodies you're singing. When you get a handle on that, I think it's really fun to sort of belt something out.
Yeah, I wonder, like, yeah, I actually wonder, like, how do you do both just like drumming and vocal? Or do you also have like backing track and then you do it at the same time?
Um, like, what do you mean? You, like, is it, are you asking how I, sing over the drums, or?
Yeah, like, do you do kind of like a drum and vocal cover at the same time, and then you have
Oh,
like a
no,
just a
I've,
backing track?
I haven't, I don't think I've attempted that yet, on my channel at the same time, but, you know, there was, when I did my cover of Kiss's Do You Love Me, I did record my own drum track for that, and then I overdubbed my vocals on top of that. That was a lot of fun,
Gotcha.
getting to, and I think you can relate, you know, doing, harmonies on top of, you know, my own vocals, just sort of building my own little choir of resis. That was fun.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I love doing that, and I'm still kind of learning about like vocal layering and harmony and
Yeah,
ad-libs.
yeah.
I really want to be better at that area.
How do you guys feel about artists such as Daft Punk who seem not to sound human with their vocal? Oh, I love Daft Punk. And, you know, I like when in electronic artists, you know, uses some tasty vocoder, you know, sprinkle it in there to deliver a little, you know, lyrical punch to their dance beats. I think that's fun.
Yeah, Daft Punk is like something else. I feel like they are like their own kind of league in a sense. Like they're
Absolutely.
just
You know,
doing their
like,
own thing.
I'm not that knowledgeable in electronic music for the most part, but you know, they just transcend that, really. I mean, they've made yeah, I mean, they did do that fantastic French house album back in the 90s, but then they sort of evolved to encompass more like disco. Just they embody the history of dance music in general with everything they do.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that, but that sounds really cool.
I don't know. I mean, like, maybe I'm just being artistically preachy there, but I'm thinking, especially with like Discovery and like their last album, Random Access Memories, they really just sort of tapped into like old like disco and funk samples and all that sort of stuff.
I would be very interested to know like how different it would be if you have like the pre-existing kind of knowledge, and when you listen to a song you can kind of dissect it and you'd be like, oh, this part is kind of like this, because I'm just like, it sounds good, I like it.
It's so good. I mean, oh my god, like there are so many videos on YouTube that are titled like, basically they're like discoveries of all the different samples that like Daft Punk uses on their albums, and like when you realize like how many different things they picked apart and just sort of put together in their own music, it's wild. I love when like, that's the thing. I remember seeing like a bunch of discourse on Twitter, on Vtuber Twitter, maybe. I don't know if it was Vtuber Twitter or music Twitter, but you know, somebody complaining about using sampling in music, and just like, bro, like half of the best music of the past, you know, 25, you know, 40 years has been made with samples.
Exactly.
Like, it's you can't really compare the talents of like, you know, doing stuff on with like a real instrument, writing on guitar and all that stuff, to like composing with electronic elements using like digital music. I feel like it's apples and oranges. The real sort of commonality they share, of course, is like music theory and people's knowledge in it, but like otherwise it's like they're two different skill sets, it feels like. I feel like.
I definitely think so too. Like even if I don't kind of play any instrument specifically, like the skill set that you have just to like put together a song melody through playing an actual instrument versus doing it digitally is completely different. And I guess sometimes like the way that you play on instrument would absolutely be better, like different than what you can put together on a PC, on a computer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think my big intro to sampling, I'd say my real I guess eureka moment was when I
Mm.
got into vaporwave back in the mid 2010s. That was I mean, I used to think it was like a meme genre too, along with a bunch of other people, ironically, at that time. But the more I plunged into it and really just appreciated how people were transforming these old, like, Japanese 80s city pop tunes into like phenomenal dance tracks in the present. It's like
Mm.
it was phenomenal to witness, and I guess that sort of sent me down a sampling rabbit hole from there.
Mm. Do you do a lot of kind of like sampling yourself? Have
Unfortunately,
you tried?
I don't I don't really have the know-how to do that sort of stuff. I did one time. I think I tried making my own like vaporwave track just independently. I like took an old Earth, Wind and Fire song and tried slowing that
Mm.
down, chopping it up, but I don't think I ever released that anywhere.
Oh, that would be cool though. That would be cool to see.
Yeah. No, I feel like vaporwave's a bit passe these days now, though. Like, everybody's moved on to, well, not even hyperpop. People have moved on from hyperpop now too. It's like every all these
What
trends.
is currently
I have no
trending?
idea. Pop is kind of in a weird place right now, where it doesn't seem like there's. Well, I guess country is kind of dominant, but I don't know. There are all these different things swirling around. Like, we live in an age where music is a lot more eclectic and diverse in like singular genres than it's ever been before. Like, because they keep pulling from other genres and just sort of everything like is mixing together almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
like, a lot of people go around and say stuff like, rock needs to be saved or whatever, when in reality, rock is perfectly fine, and it's just sort of evolving with the newer sounds, like, especially in the underground with what's going on with fusions of, electronic rock and,
Mm.
metal and all these different fun things.
I mean, it is the way it is gonna be, right? Because like it's not gonna just stay the same way. It's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna be the same melody over and over again, because then you could just say, oh my god, like I need something new if
Yeah.
it's the same type over and over again. So yeah, definitely I feel like going on forward,
I
different
just
genre
remember,
is just gonna mix.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of Greta Van Fleet at all?
I have heard of that name. I don't think I've heard of anything from them.
They, a bunch of, geez, I think it's about like 6 years, 7 years back at this point. They really sort of made a splash in like the sort of rock radio scene, because they sounded so much like Led Zeppelin, and I mean so much. Like the singer is like like an uncanny one for like Robert Plant's voice back in the 70s.
Oh.
And I I like some of Greta Van Fleet's music. I think they're perfectly competent in what they do, and they definitely wear their Led Zeppelin influence on their sleeve.
Mm.
But that's about all I can really say for them. Like, the rest of their music has like the first few songs, when they came out, I was like, okay, sure, that's fine. I get what you're doing. But then they started putting out their albums, and like, oh my god, like they just drag, because it's like, we get it. You guys are like the modern Led Zeppelin, okay?
I see. So it's like they stick to that concept only,
Yeah, I mean, like,
mainly.
I could be uncharitable towards like their latest album, because I haven't listened to all of it, but like certainly like their first album after they really stepped out, they were just like, I don't know, it was so dull. And like people in the rock press were like calling them saviors, and of course they had a bunch of like boomers who saw Led Zeppelin back in the day go into their concerts saying they were saviors. Like, I don't have any problems with people who, want to see a bit of nostalgia, in Greta Van Fleet, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like just sort of like, there's a way to do like callbacks to the past and really build on it. And then there's just sort of capitalizing on the past.
Yeah, I get you. But it's so interesting because kind of music is so kind of personal in a sense, because it's so based on everyone's taste and preferences.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's something that is so good for you could be just like, for another. Yeah.
No, that's true. I mean, like, Greta Van Fleet definitely has their defenders out there. I'm I don't want to deny, like, if anybody in my audience likes Greta Van Fleet, that is all well and good. I might, someday I've been wanting to make like a deep dive on this topic for a long time, that rock music doesn't necessarily need saving, sort of like. There have been a bunch of people, a bunch of bands in the past who've been, hailed as like the saviors of rock. I think like that was being labeled given to like the Strokes or like the Arctic Monkeys or Royal Blood, but like, all those bands were good in their own way, but like they didn't really turn the tide and make rock and roll like, Billboard hot, top 10 charting genres again, I mean, unless you want to consider Imagine Dragons a rock band, which I don't know.
Are they?
Kind of dubious.
I mean, these days as well, like there's just so many kind of things mixing up together. I don't feel like you could classify a lot of musician and artists currently as one genre.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, I really do love when artists, switch it up and incorporate a lot of different influences. Your Billie Eilish's, your, I think like Olivia Rodrigo's doing some really cool pop punk stuff nowadays. Like, a lot of really cool soundscapes in the pop arena these days. And I admire it, even if I don't, really follow it all personally.
That's true. And it's just for growth. It's just for, experiment. New sounds.
Yeah. Let me see. So I guess, you mentioned, you kind of sing for fun. Do you have any vocal training, or did you just sort of pick up singing through covering songs?
Yeah, I wish. I wish I had, but no, I don't have any training at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just like over the years, just do it a lot, and yeah, basically do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get used to it, because like a lot of people kind of ask me like, oh gosh, like I hate my voice so much, I can't listen to my voice again. I don't think I'm on, in tune. I don't think I can sing, but I would really want to do my first song cover.
Yeah.
Like it's really much as I want to say that, just do it. Like it's literally that. Like you just do it, and then you kind of get used to it, and you get used to your voice. And there are other things that you can do to like learning about your range and learning about how to make song or find song that fits with your vocal and things like that. So yeah, I just want people to kind of do it and sing. I want everyone to do song covers or do their original song, but just do it.
No, yeah, singing is really fun. I'm really glad that I was able to do at least something related to that on my channel. And y'all go check out Sagi. She's got a great voice. I was listening to your original song. I think it was "Sweet Embrace" before the stream. And it was really good. It really sort of cheered me up, after a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I was thinking about a bunch of stuff before stream related to maybe moving to another country or whatever, and I don't know. I listened to that and it was very cheery and bouncy and just sort of hit me in the right way. So yeah, she's got a great voice, y'all. Go check her out. stream
Thank
Sweet
you
Embrace.
so much. Thank you for listening to it, though. And I'm really glad that you
Yeah.
also find that it's like kind of bring joy, because that is definitely something that I want to
Yeah.
kind of present through the song, because it's kind of like a community song, right? Like it is for the people that like support me so much. And
Yeah,
it's just-
No, it's
so
really
I'm
fun.
glad.
Yeah. No, your voice is cute. It kind of reminds me a little of Maria Marionettes, Niji Sanji.
Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah, she's
It's
peaceful.
it's very very cute idol-esque voice. It's what was I gonna oh yeah, I guess I was gonna ask what your advice is to people nervous to be a singer, but I guess you already kind of just outlined that.
I don't know if that's helpful, to be honest, because like I feel like it's kind of just do it. It's like so easy to say, but
Yeah.
to actually do it is, I think, is the challenge for a lot of
Yeah.
people because of the pre-existing, concept or I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I
kind
will
of just
say-
belief in yourself.
I think at least with being a VTuber, there's a lot less nerves involved. If you tune out the numbers, like close out the window and just pretend you're singing to yourself and doing karaoke, in the privacy of your own home, I think that might help a little. I'm not sure
Yeah.
necessarily if like. I don't know. I mean, I've had experience singing to people before, so I'm not as embarrassed to do it myself. But I imagine that like one of the benefits of being a VTuber that I've come to find is that just being in the comfort of your own home enables you to do so many things, content-wise. Behind an avatar enables you to do so many things content-wise that you
Absolutely.
otherwise wouldn't have the nerve to do.
Absolutely. I
'Cause,
don't
like-
think I could do this like in real life. In real life, I'd probably just freaking run away.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, like I've wanted to sort of do video essays for a hot minute, as as my own man. I'm very passionate about like music and history. And like I guess like what really stopped me, I didn't want to invest in a bunch of film equipment for one, but also I didn't have like a driving motivation to present as myself until I discovered VTubing, and that, so I don't know. I've always sort of, I was into acting like when I was in high school. The sort of projection of my own self into something greater than myself has
Nice.
always sort of been appealing to me,
Would you like continue that in a sense, like if there's an opportunity?
I mean, in a sense, I think that what I'm doing now, I've kind of been getting back into acting a little bit. I mean, what I do with reading my scripts, I also have like dialogue reads that I do, try to do some impersonations that way. I don't know, I really do think that I at least have rediscovered a talent for voiceover for myself.
Yeah. It does allow you to express a lot of or like make use of a lot of skills that you have. It's just a different kind of channel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would, at some point, if somehow I got into a situation where I just auditioned for something on a whim and screen tested well, I think I would like to be an actor again. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, where I would find myself doing that. I'm far more committed at this point just to being a musician, if anything.
an actor playing as a musician character.
Oh my god. I mean, there have been a bunch of like musician actors in the past, like that did like stuff in movies. What was it? Bob Geldof of the what was the Boomtown Rats? He played the leading role of Pink in Pink Floyd's The Wall back in 1982. And there were a bunch of other musician actors. I think like David Bowie starred in a few films. So, maybe in the future, if that might be something I do, but I don't know. I'm far more committed to just providing the music than being the guy in front,
Well, I still wish that you can achieve your dream. Maybe an opportunity may present itself.
Yeah. I guess, sort of related to talking about how we got to being VTubers and all that, like, what inspired you to be a VTuber? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have like any like big story about it. So I started December 2020, so amid like COVID and everything. So
you were an early adopter.
Yeah, is that early? I guess so. I guess it is
I don't
quite
know.
early.
Like at this point, like I'd consider like at least 2020 through late 2021 to be like the sort of the first big wave of like all the indie VTubers and stuff.
That is true. I think it was because of my partner was like, "Oh, have you seen like this? I think it was Lily Pichu or like another one of Pokimane."
They got the VTuber avatar.
Yeah, the VTuber avatar, and I was like, "Okay, VTuber," and I was like, literally just home, and then playing. I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. So I was literally, that was the game for me, and I was like, well, like I'm home anyway, I'm playing games anyway, and I like custom character customization. So let me give it a go. So I started with Vroid, because this was free and everything, and then I started streaming 14, and then it's just from there. I didn't really look into VTubing as much. Like, I didn't do so much research into like what like some VTubers have like lore and like character concepts and all that. I didn't know any of that, and then when I first started, I was just like a very generic character that I could find free assets on Booth. But then
you were just like Candy.
No, I didn't even start as Candy, because it was just a character, and then when I saw people actually having like a theme, I was like, wait, okay, what do I like? I like snacks and I like cake. So from there, I designed my first kind of outfit on Vroid, and then I went with it for like a year.
Oh, nice. Like, I remember, I've never been too particular about lore or whatever in my character. I'm just a lazy orange cat boy that likes music and plays games and lives in New York City, and that's good enough for me.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think I more so just based it a lot on myself, because like I do like to, get cozy and lounge around in PJs and listen to music and play video games and imbibe in catnip and all that all that stuff. But I don't know. I've never been too particular about VTuber lore. Like, good on the people who are able to like incorporate all that into what they do. I could never keep track of a wieldy lore thing.
But how did you find out about VTubing?
I was like, I think it was Hololive, probably. It was definitely like Kiryu Koko, Korone, and might have seen like Kizuna Ai at one point before then too, but like it was Hololive was definitely the gateway for me, and then I discovered Niji Sanji and a bunch of other like indie VTubers, and from there I was like, like if I invest if I invest my stimulus check in a PC, maybe I can get in on this and do something with this. And by the time I really got moving, I feel like I was sort of on the like crest of like that first VTuber wave, unfortunately. So, I sort of pivoted by the end of things and was like, that was when I became, the music talk guy, the video essay guy, what have you.
Yeah, but yeah, still, I find it very interesting. It's kind of, I guess, like similar to how I find Katie's content really like unique because like the majority of VTuber aren't doing that. Like long form, video essay, and yeah, that's just so cool.
Like, I'm not going to name names or get accusatory or anything, but a lot of the long-form edited content that VTubers tend to put out is not as well-informed or sourced as I think should be properly done in a wide platform, disseminating to, millions of people around the world, right? I think that, I don't know, VTubers and long-form content are definitely a good pair that could get together more, for sure. And I really hope that, in the years to come, more VTubers sort of, influenced by me, influenced by Katie, influenced by others who are sort of using their avatars to project themselves and be really strong, like, voices, like, in fields that they're passionate about. I think the more that people do that, I think that'll be more beneficial to the VTuber ecosystem in the long run,
I believe so too. And like, I think, do you have any tips about, I guess, doing kind of long form or doing like the research around it? Because I really want to do something kind of similar, like more work on kind of more long form, but not based on, edited stream clip or whatever. It's more kind of like actual long form.
Have patience with Google search and like know like how to sort of chain things with what's called like Boolean search language. I don't know if it's like that in specific, but at least know how to like, put quotation marks around things and chain them with ands or what have you. There's also Google Books is really helpful. Like if you're looking for like historical newspaper clippings or like other magazine articles for like musical trades, at least I know you can go on Google Books and look for stuff like that. What else? Or there's also like a newspaper archive, I think that like Google News has. Like I think it's like news.google.com/newspaper. Let me check that out real quick. Google newspaper. Something like that. I don't know. I'll find it and send it to you on Discord. But it's really cool. I discovered it recently myself, and and there's also a lot more like copyrighted content and documentaries on YouTube than you might think. At least when it comes to music history. When I was doing a bunch of research for like the Kiss series, for instance, they had like a bunch of their VH1 documentaries that aired in the past on here. But somehow, I don't know how the copyright bots got them, but I don't know. It's I wish, I took a course when I was in grad school on like information search environments and like how to, properly navigate them. That's probably the advice that I got was probably a little outdated because now that AI has kind of fucked Google over a lot more. The things have changed a bunch, but it's like you can definitely, if you know how to search and chain queries together, I think you're, and of course I don't know, like
it's
Vocaloid.
In a sense,
sorry, go ahead.
Similar to, because you mentioned like AI and ChatGPT and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I know that like AI as a topic is a little bit kind of sensitive, especially in like the VTubing world, but like it does work when you can when you know how to search, right?
Yeah, I
In a
mean,
sense.
yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I think there's still like some sort of Google workaround where somebody found where you can search without the AI chiming in and trying to give you a kind of false summary. But
Yeah.
I forget where it is now. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked that we have the people behind our search engines purposely, screwing them up now. But in some regards, Google still works. At least for what I do. I was able to easily find a bunch of at least online articles from other music publications pertaining to like the research I was doing. So yeah, I don't know. There's stuff out there. I wish I could better summarize what I learned in that course, but I don't know.
Nice. That's already a really good tip, I think. I to be honest, I feel like more people than not don't know what Boolean search is.
Oh yeah. And also, the Internet Archive. Use that as a source if you can. Support the Internet Archive. Do not let them die. I hate how many corporations have gone after them for trying to challenge like the inability of themselves to just like preserve cultural history properly. I'm sorry, I could go on for hours about just like American copyright and how it has been so detrimental to the preservation of cultural history. Like, oh my god.
Big corporate.
If you will. Let me see. Oh, so this one's interesting. You got to participate in Sylvie's Vunity Summer Live concert at Animathon. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
How'd you get involved?
That was incredible.
How would you get involved with that? That's pretty massive.
Yeah, like no, I think I was like very lucky, and I would give that back to my friend and Sylvie because
Yeah.
Sylvie specifically created this concert to invite indie Vtubers of all different size. So
Oh, nice.
So she kind of invite people to kind of submit their performance and their vocal, and like I don't know, like she chose 21, I think 20 or 21 of us to participate in the event. And actually one of my friends tagged me in that post and said
nice.
you should kind of submit. So I was just like, okay, yeah, it sounds fun. I doubt that I would get chosen, but I'll just submit. Like, you never know. And actually, like, a lot of time it's just me being Delulu and be like, yeah, what's the worst that could happen? Like, if I'm not accepted, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Then that's it. But if I get accepted, then that would be cool. And to be honest, like, I don't think I was as aware of the scale of it when I submitted that until like I got involved with the project and like see Sylvie and like her team and everyone else kind of working in the back end, everything that everyone has to prep for it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
after that, also she was like, oh, you guys can also do like a meet and greet at Animathon. And I'm just like, what?
Wow. Like, were you there in person? Was that?
No, so I because I think it was in Canada. So
okay.
I
So you
didn't
like
make
sort
a
of
flight there,
streamed
but
in.
it was I streamed in.
That's cool. Like, and then like when it was sort of came your time to go, like you were just there in your room, like beaming into the con.
Yeah, so for the performance themselves, we did do kind of like pre-record just because of like technical issues. So we did all the kind of vocal recording, all the editing, all the music video and stuff.
Okay.
Before the concert actually. So it was kind of like
Makes
a virtual
sense,
concert
yeah.
at the place. But I know that there were, I think, one or two of the member who was in the group that actually performed there as well. So they were actual, like Kaigai idol, and they were performing on stage as well. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I wish that I'd heard more about the concert before, it happened, and a bunch of things happened after the fact. But like there's so much, it's so cool to see indie VTubers getting out there and like establishing their own sort of concerts away from like agents, not to diss agency idol concerts or whatever. I went to Anime NYC recently and saw all the massive hype around like Hololive there, but I don't know, it's cool to see like you also did like a project with Yusun, right, where you submitted your own vocals into their choir.
Oh yeah, that is true. I didn't even know because like because Usan is like so just incredible.
Yeah.
And
No, they're really inspirational.
Absolutely, it's like crazy, and the fact that they open it up to like the community to just like, oh yeah, do this part of like the harmony, the choir. I'm just like, yeah, like whatever it is, I'm gonna do it.
That's fun. It reminds me of when I was a high school choir nerd and like learning all about I don't know if you're familiar with the vocal composer Eric Whitaker at all. Like he did like he's done a bunch of like virtual choir projects in the past where he's given people sheet music. Like people from around the world have come together to sort of record their own sort of vocal line, whether they're soprano, alto, tenor, or bass, and then he brings them all together and mixes them into a choral performance. It's really really moving to see when it happens.
Oh damn, that is very cool though. That is such a big project.
Yeah.
I would love to like look into it more.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but I just remember, Eric Whitaker, fantastic guy in the choral music world. Everybody in my high school choir was singing his praises, or at least the chamber choir friend group that I was sort of in.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I would love to see more, I guess, like indie project, because one of the things that I had the idea of, but I've never been able to do, and now I see like agencies start doing is like VTuber musical. Cause I do like a couple of musicals. I really like going to like see them, so I wanted to do something like that, but also to actually organize something that is like kind of like a original,
Absolutely.
VTuber made. Is gonna be a lot of work.
I think I think actually, last time I had on a guest, like who was part of the VTuber Symphony Orchestra, and I talked with them about like how cool it would be to have like a sort of VTuber built opera, like have a VTube, like assign VTubers, various roles, and like have the VTuber orchestra providing the backing music, and have a VTuber composer that writes the entire thing, and like a VTuber librettist that provides the plot. Just like it would be incredible. Like, and you see, you mentioned like agencies, kind of like Niji Sanji recently are doing like more of those sort of dramatic live staged, I guess, productions like that. I think if the more we do that sort of content, I think the more VTubing will evolve as a medium.
Absolutely, I agree too. And like, yeah, I guess like the agency has a bit more ability to put something that big together, but then because I feel like sometimes they are the kind of forefront, right? Like they bring that concept closer to like the VTubing community, and then there will be others who kind of replicate, try to improve, try to add their own kind of flavors and uniqueness in it. So it's for the better for sure.
I see. Oh yeah. So I guess kind of related to that, like what you're hoping to see, what do you hope to do as a musician in the community at the end of the day? Like, do you have any dream goals or collabs that you'd like to achieve?
Um, I would say I wanna like the musical thing was one of it, but I don't know if I would ever be able to do something like that. But
Right,
maybe
yeah.
I would love to do more, I guess, collab with others, or doing, at least branching out of from just doing straight song covers. So what I try to do now, or like with my most recent cover, was just working on like trans lyrics, for example. So that
Oh
was the
yeah.
first time that I worked on something like that. I know that it's been done so many times before, other people have done it, but it's kind of new to me, and it was interesting because it's just something different rather than just straight up doing a cover. I want to do, I think I mentioned before, like even when doing song covers, doing a bit more kind of ad-libs, harmony, doing original instrument in a different kind of, I guess,
Oh yeah.
style. So it's kind of, I guess, more smaller changes, but I want to keep doing that, like making changes to my own kind of approach to singing. Maybe I could do just kind of like a I don't know, Vtuber covers, musical medley or whatever.
Oh, cool.
So that everything that I enjoy can all come together in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Of all the collabs you've done so far, which would you say is your favorite? Like, other than the projects we've already talked about.
Wait, now I have to think. I have to think, like, what have I done? Like, what did I do? I don't even remember.
It's all good.
Collab project. I think probably might be a little bit biased. Like, I get to sing with a couple of friends, which I really, really am happy to be able to do. But I think if I were to choose, I would say I was invited onto an original song made by my friend. So he's a music producer.
Oh, nice.
And he was like, "Oh, do you want to sing like this song?" And it is a Vietnamese song. And you can find it on my channel as well. But so he produced the song, he wrote the lyrics, and then he was like, "Okay, let's work on this together. You do the vocal for the female part, he the other part, the rapping." But like that song is like probably one of my most favorite song. Like I really, really, really love that song. I know like Sweet Embrace is like my first official original song, and I really, really love it. I could do that for my community. But like the other song, like the music, the melody, and the fact that like we can work together on it with like a very talented like music producer as well, is also something that is very, very nice, and I really enjoy that experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Sort of speaking of that, I noticed you've done a bunch of sort of Vietnamese music like that and covers like that on your channel. As someone who doesn't really follow any pop from that part of the world, I'm curious to know, like, like a bit more about that. Like, what are some of your favorites? Like, what's sort of the scene there in Vietnam?
I would say it has evolved a lot over the last couple of years, because like when I was back home, I don't really listen to V-pop or Viet music at all.
Right.
Like it wasn't really a thing. Like there's a lot of artists and there's a lot of musician and groups and bands and stuff, but it just wasn't there, I guess, when I was back home. But then I think like in the recent years, because there's a lot of influences from other countries, K-pop and J-pop and everything, it has evolved so much that there's a lot more kind of music now that I really enjoy. So there are a couple of artists that I really love. One is so her name is Hoàng Thùy Linh, and she used to be kind of like an actress. She was in
Oh,
like
yeah.
a kind of sitcom, but then she moved towards music, and the music that she does is very unique because she incorporates a lot of Vietnamese cultural like instrument and
Oh, that's
theme
nice.
into her music video and into her song.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even though it is quite modern, it still has the kind of Vietnamese reference and cultural part in there, and she
Right.
got really successful with that.
That's cool. Yeah, I love when artists do that and like tie their culture into their own pop music. That's very
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. I really love that. And then there is another group that is more kind of, they were a band. Sadly, they actually disbanded this year. But their their group name is Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
uh, yeah, but like they very much like their songs are very kind of like teen, kind of like freeing spirit
Oh,
and
yeah.
that kind of vibe. And I also really love that they have a bit of like influences from other kind of, I guess, rock band in a sense.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but
See,
sadly
you say
they
sweet, my
disbanded
mind,
now.
you say sweet, my mind immediately goes to this other rock band that was popular back in the 70s in the UK. You know, I don't know if you've ever
Ah.
heard of them, but they did like a bunch of they did a bunch of cool stuff like Ballroom Blitz, Love Is Like Oxygen, Action. Very fun band, Sweet.
I didn't know that there is a band called Sweet over here as well. Oh,
Oh yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I think I think they're still around, but they're like super old now.
I bet. But yeah, like if you want, I could like send over like some of the songs from those because
Sure,
maybe
go ahead.
it'll
Yeah,
be interesting. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. There's I've wanted for a while to cover like other sort of foreign genres than my channel. I mean, there are other YouTube channels I think on the platform. There's Bandsplaining, I think, that does a lot of really good deep dives into like foreign musical cultures, but I'm just afraid that like if I were to try to do the research that I usually do in depth, I'd need to get either a lot better with language or get a lot more confident in like the translation apps that I'm using, you know?
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially for like other countries of foreign music. It's gonna be difficult. I feel like like I don't know how much material you could find on these two that I mentioned because like they are pretty decently big in Vietnam, but like on the scale of like worldwide, yeah, I don't know.
I would need to scour like the Vietnamese internet, and I don't know shit about the Vietnamese language, so there's no way I'm
I
navigating
can
that
translate
without.
for you.
I appreciate the offer. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I you know, my recent video on glam metal, I did a bunch of research on like early Japanese metal as it like evolved in the 70s and early 80s, and that was it was interesting. I had to go on a bunch of Japanese Wikipedia pages and try scouring through like whatever citations that they had on there because there's no way in hell that I was going to be able to search the Japanese internet.
Just imagine you studied Japanese, like
Oh my
just quickly study Japanese just to get some material.
God, I'd love to learn Japanese at some point. I just I don't know if
Same.
I don't know if I'd have the time or energy to commit to it.
Yeah, I try to. That was one of my kind of goal-ish this year, and I started out a bit, but then like it's never a priority for me to actually stick to and do. So yeah.
One of my roommates, he does like Duolingo Japanese, and you know, I see him, you know, plucking out a few lessons every now and then on the couch when I go to, you know, make my dinner or whatever. And Yeah, I'm sure it helps him somewhat, but I don't know. I've heard mixed things about Duolingo
Yeah,
Japanese.
Duolingo is I don't think it's just like Japanese, but I think in general it's
Yeah.
great for vocab. Like you learn a lot of words, but
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
a lot of sentences just like no one use. Like no one actually use those sentences in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So yeah.
Duolingo is definitely very very lesson oriented in its instruction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to get back into I used to be a lot more confident in Spanish and German. Like I learned both of those languages at some point, but
Awesome.
they've really sort of fallen off.
Yeah, to be honest, like I feel like it's difficult because like I've moved here for like 10 years now. So
Oh yeah.
now sometimes when I think of Vietnamese word, even though I am Vietnamese and I've lived there for like 18 years of my life, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
Now
rusty.
I forget words. Yeah, it's kind of rusty now. I'm just like I'm talking to my parents and sometimes it's just like in my head I'm just like, oh shit, what's that word? And then I'll be like, that word in English.
Oh yeah,
Because I
yeah.
couldn't find the same word in Vietnamese, and I'm just like, it's so bad. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. What was I gonna say? Da-da-da. What other questions? Oh yeah. I guess we kind of talked earlier. You said you learned a bit of piano. What other instruments would you like to learn if you had like the spare time?
I think maybe like guitar. I feel like that
Oh,
is like
nice.
something that is very versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you have like different kind of if you know how to play guitar, you probably could apply it to some other
Yeah,
instruments as well.
I have a friend in one of my bands who he has something that he calls like gear acquisition syndrome, and that he can't help but buying up like all the exotic instruments he fucking sees on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh no.
So he's got like a bunch of he's got like a bunch of guitars. He's got a mandolin. He's got I think probably some sort of baritone guitar. He's got a bunch of wild sorts of equipment, and he's a damn good guitarist. But I just hope he's able to support all of that on his performance budgets.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. How about you though? Would you want to pick up any other instrument?
I mean, if I had the time, if I had more time, I really would commit myself to guitar and maybe piano. Like my mom got for me a few years ago this red Telecaster, and it's a beautiful instrument, but I haven't really touched it so much, or have had the opportunity to touch it rather.
Yeah, that would be so cool. My friend actually, because you had him in one of your previous episodes,
Oh yeah.
the Shino High.
Oh yeah, Shino, he was cool.
Yeah, so he's my best friend, and so he got me an ocarina,
Oh nice.
and I tried to learn it on stream once, and I think it's very interesting, but I haven't really practiced it since.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that would be like a really cool instrument to be able to play.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting trying to trying to practice an instrument on stream. Like I said, I tried doing that with harmonica a few years back. I think I still have a bit of know-how, at least how to play a harmonica, but it's been a while since I've really picked that up.
Yeah, it's always about practice and like commitment, right? Consistency.
Yeah, not just doing it as content.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, I mean, funny
Gosh.
enough, I actually have it as I have a blues track looping right now underneath everything. I just have it muted on my OBS. Actually, I don't know if it's blues or it might be funk. I think I was blowing along to like some sort of funk instrumental at some point on one of those harmonica streams.
Aww. It's nice though.
Fun times, fun times. I really do like the harmonica. It's a surprisingly versatile instrument.
I Is it? I think I had like a toy one
Oh
when I
yeah.
was a kid. Like,
No, I
yeah,
mean once
I had one, but yeah, I never know how
yeah.
to.
Yeah, once you really know how to like sort of move your way around the harmonica, use your mouth properly and all that, it's really cool. You can get some really nice sounds out of it.
Mm, nice. Yeah, I also like a lot. I think I've seen a lot more kind of VTubers that perform instrument like
Hmm.
violin and like piano on stream
Yeah.
as like part of their content now, which is
Yeah.
really great to see.
Yeah, no, I love seeing like VTubers like doing their own instrumental practice streams, trying to rig, especially trying to like rig their own models to like
Yeah.
make it look like they're playing the instruments. Like, there was this one person I had on a few weeks ago. His name is Brime. I think he has his own sort of way of basically brute force rigging his model to make it look like he was playing acoustic guitar.
Oh, that is so cool. I think I know of
Yeah.
I think some in the VTuber orchestra. I know that
Oh,
Obake
nice.
Pam
Hmm.
play the violin.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, no, she played the flute. She played
Mhm.
flute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I don't think at this point in my age that I could commit to picking up a woodwind instrument, but uh, but I do respect the talent that goes into that. It goes into playing brass and all of that stuff.
It's so much work, so much practice to get to where
Mhm.
they are.
VTubers are so talented, man.
Honestly.
Like just in general, I'm happy to see like how many creative, talented people are drawn to this as a profession.
I mean, it's such a good way to be able to express yourself, though. Like, I don't think a lot of us would ever have our talent or, our skills on like a public channel like this without VTubing as a medium.
Yeah, exactly. Without the avatar.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, of course, I have my own opinions. At some point, maybe if this all dies out, I might eventually decide to do a face cam or whatever. But, like, I feel for right now, my comfort is best, I feel like I'm most comfortable, speaking as the cat boy.
Same,
If that
same.
makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think I would be able to do, like a full, no mask. Everything is just like in real live stream. Like not at this point for me. I did hand cam before, that was fine. But yeah, I know that like some of my friends did both. So they would have their character and sometimes they would do face cam because they're comfortable with that. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all the more power to those creators. I really I respect them being so open about their personality. Like, especially like Jesus Christ, recently the like all the agency VTubers that are like VShojo, like Kuro in particular, I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Him and Quinn Bennett too. Like they're hilarious, man. Like what they do off stream and with the face cams.
Yeah, in a way, it does give you a little bit more room to do things, I guess. Because, or like reactions or things like that, like model could only do to a certain degree. You wouldn't get a meme of Quinn.
Yeah. Holding his poor family jewels.
Exactly. But yeah, so I guess for like bigger corporate agency, I think they are getting a bit more lax, and I feel like in a sense, I don't know if people find it more, I don't know, approachable, relatable, that there's an actual person behind the screen rather than an avatar. Like the amount of people is just like, oh, that's not a real person.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But honestly, that's the best part about it, is coming to understand the person behind the avatar too. Like,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know necessarily if like that's ever fully achievable, because really all content creators wear a mask. That's what parasociality.
Mm.
That's why parasociality exists. You know,
Yeah, that's
we could
true.
never. Nobody on the other side of that screen could ever fully understand you, really. But
Mhm,
yeah, that's fine. It's fine to have a mediated relationship with an audience who, just want a community, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's also some, like, for me personally, with kind of VTubing, sometimes you have this, think about growth and numbers, and I want to be
Mm-hmm.
successful at this. But then, like, on the other side, there are kind of moments where I would be like, actually, I really enjoy doing whatever I want to do, and people still, be there and just come out to hang out, because
Exactly.
like you wouldn't be able to do that as much if, let's say, you are known for a specific niche, or like if you are so big that you can't really even read
Mm-hmm.
whatever people are typing. So yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
like between that, it's kind of like sometimes you want to be like, oh my god, I just want to be successful and grow so much, but then on the other side it's just like, actually I'm also happy being just kind of comfy and silly as myself, and not worry too
Mm-hmm.
much about juggling all the responsibility that comes with having a big audience.
Exactly. I've been doing this 3 years at this point, and I'm still very much a small time YouTuber, but I'm happy with the rate at which I'm growing. I feel like the more I acclimate to getting a larger audience, the better it's gonna be when I actually get to the point where I can manage it.
Exactly. Yeah.
My God, I actually had one friend in the VTuber community a few years back who somehow got super big off of like a clip or whatever, but wasn't really prepared to handle it and kind of burned out soon after it. It's kind of informed
Oh,
how
that
I've
is
sort
sad.
yeah, it's kind of informed how I've approached my own work, ever since then. Like I'd love to be successful, obviously. I'd love to be like a bigger, more influential VTuber, but I'm not necessarily how to say, like, eager to get rid of like the comforts that I currently have, just to just to keep pushing my name in an algorithm.
Mm. And I also find that, like, the more you kind of are fixated on growth and you want to grow more, like, the more stressful it becomes
Hmm.
for you to create anything at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got so much to the point, like, because, like, let's say 3 years, 4 years ago, I'd be like, I'll be so happy. I'll be happy with like 20 viewers.
Oh
Then when you
yeah.
get 20, you'll be like, you'll move the goalpost. You will
Yeah,
always move the goalpost.
exactly. Shit,
It's
I'm
never
just
enough.
happy. I'm just happy that anybody tunes into these streams. Happy to see
Exactly.
people in chat. Happy to see them lurking. um,
Absolutely. Oh.
let me see. Um, looks like I'm almost out of questions here. I guess something, I was wondering with recent times, what sort of music do you turn to in times of stress? I mean, like, I guess, how do you see music in some respects as an escape?
Hmm. I do. I would say I do tend to listen to music when like I'm not particularly in the right mood.
Yeah.
I have a sad playlist
Oh.
on my Spotify that, like, I would listen to if I want to have a cry, I would listen
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. And
Oh.
like for me, with like how I feel or how I find kind of emotions and feeling, for me it's a lot about kind of try to feel those feelings, and then I'll feel better. At least that's for me. Like, so if I feel like I'm
very
in a really
catharsis.
bad mood, yeah, in a sense,
Yeah.
I want to cry it out and then get over it.
I sympathize with that. I did have a good cry with my parents the other night after everything went down, and
I know.
I did. I do think I feel a bit better now. It's still a work in progress, but it does help to keep on listening to music to connect with people who love it just like you. Like there's there's this band. I think I mentioned them early in the stream. I know I'm saying it now, but King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They've been going on tour throughout America recently, and streaming their live concerts, and it's just been so, I guess, invigorating. It gives me some sort of hope to have community to go to, in those live stream chats, and see all these kind, fun-hearted people at the concerts, cheering this band on. It's music keeps bringing community, and I just want to
so much.
I just want to keep doing that. I want to keep holding on to that. Because
I agree. I think you should as well, because for example, I can think of when I go to concerts, because a couple of them I went alone, and you can feel that everyone is kind of feeling the same thing, and everyone is and I know it's sound very cringe, but it's all as one in that kind of moment.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I've met a few people before at concerts who I've never seen again, but they were perfectly chill people, and I like to sort of hang in with them in the moment,
Yeah. I guess it's also a little bit relevant to being kind of in a fandom.
Yeah.
And that would probably apply to anything, but I think for music specifically, because it's kind of speak to your emotion a lot of the time, so maybe it has even stronger effect.
I've always been a proponent of the healing powers of music. Really, it's probably the closest thing we have to an earthly representation of the divine. I mean, I don't consider myself a religious cat that much, but just I love sound and music, and
yeah. Sometimes you don't even know how to word it. You don't know even how to put that into words.
Especially, oh my god, when I was in Europe, and I remember going to this it was this monastery cathedral, and coated in all this Baroque gold and stuff, and it was a lovely cathedral. When I imagined the sort of choral masses or organs that would play throughout there, my mind just was buzzing.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I think I also, I went to, there was a kind of cathedral as well, and they had this big, a gigantic organ, and it just, when you see things like that, you just immediately had the feeling of, oh my god, it's so different vibe. I don't know how to describe it. But
music hits different in a church, really. I mean, I remember when I was in college, in a lot of the ensembles I was in, we'd play our spring or winter performances in the chapel, and that was really fun, just getting all the echoey acoustics out of that.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no, I'm so happy to keep on keep on loving music and hopefully finding community through it. God knows we need a lot of community, a lot of love and tenderness in the years to come.
Yeah, especially in these times, like we got each other.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Let me see then. I think that's just about all the questions I had for you. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about with me, or?
No, I would say that thank you so much for
Yeah,
inviting me. I
yeah.
think it has been a great time talking to you. Like
Of
honestly, like
course.
normally I don't do a lot of collabs unless it's like with friends because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I tend to be shy, but you have created a very kind of welcoming and comfortable place. So yeah, thank you for that.
Ah,
Really
shucks. I'm
nice to
happy to
hear
hear that.
from someone who is like knowledgeable about music as well. Like I know that I don't know a lot about, you know, music history and things like that. But yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think I
fine.
learned
I
something
just
today.
love getting people's perspectives. Is all. Thank you for the kind words, Sagi. Where can people find you? Uh,
People can find me on YouTube. I think you have my channel there. Thank you so much. And I also stream on Twitch. I also recently moved a bit more to Blue Sky
oh
rather than
yeah,
X. Just
makes
because of
sense.
how
Makes
everything
sense.
is on X. Yeah. So if you want, you can follow me there as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sagi. It has been a fantastic conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
And
you.
thank you to everybody in chat too for tuning in today. Not sure. I think I've got another stream, another guest lined up for next week's stream, but I got to check on that. But I'll probably have more news soon. It's all good. I've probably got a bit.
Sorry.
You're good. Probably got a bit more news soon regarding my future video. I've still got like one more video I want to put out before the end of the year. That's the King Crimson ranking stream. So I'll update on you all about that when I have more of an idea of when I'm going to start the recording process on that. Hopefully it should be soon. But in any event, thank y'all once again for tuning in tonight. I've been Rezi Orenji, your host, your lazy orange, yarn spinning cat boy, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.